The estimate was 63 cents. Gap. That's HELE.
SMCI. 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 CCL. 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 CUK. NCLH. CUK. QQQ. QQQ. IONQ. TQQQ. TQQQ. AMD, AMD,
If you want to get your name, phone number, and address off the internet, but want to handle the removals yourself, opt
AMD, IONQ, IONQ, GTLB, GTLB, ALAB, BPTH, GTLB, AMZN, AMZN,
Benzinga market update. S&P futures down 3. The Dow futures down 27. NASDAQ down 16.50. Crude is down 30 cents at $73.26. Natural gas is down 3 cents at $2.70. Gold is up $4 at $26.3940. Bitcoin futures down 130 at 62,270.
AMD, 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 AFRM, GTLB, ALAB, ALAB, ALAB,
VTRS, Viatris, announcing top-line results from phase 3 study of Effexor in Japanese adults with generalized anxiety disorder. That is Victor Tango Romeo Sandy, VTRS.
CANF, GTLB, RIME, GOGL,
Your future is at your
RIME,
fingertips.
RIME,
Take advantage of the flexibility.
RIME, RIME,
Good.
RIME, RIME,
RIME, Semicab wins major new contract in India. Romeo India Michael India,
Rhyme.
RIME. Romeo India
DRCT.
Michael Echo.
RIME, NCLH, RIME, 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 CDNA, RIME, 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 RIME,
ALTR, Altair
Rhyme.
and Technical
Rhyme.
University of Munich
Rhyme.
discover a breakthrough in
Rhyme.
quantum computing for computational fluid dynamics. That's Alpha Lima Tango Romeo.
RIME,
CANF, can fight. FDA grants
Rhyme.
orphan drug designation to can fight's
Rhyme.
namodenosine for pancreatic cancer.
RIME,
That's Charlie Alpha November Foxtrot.
AMD, GTLB, AMD, RIME, MYND, AMD, AMD, Sophie, AMD, GTLB, INTC, AMD, 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 AMDL, NCLH, NCLH, LASE, AMD, AAL, INTC, GTLB, AMD, WCLH, WW, 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 AMDL, WW, CCL, AMD, AMD, AMDL, AMD, 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 WW, WW 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 AMD AMDL AMZN AMZN AMD AMZN STLA AMZN PLL PLL STLA AMZN 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 AMZN, 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 STLA, TSLA, USEG, TSLA, TSLA, TSLL, USEG, TSLA, GTLB, TSLT, TSLA.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube and video downloads you can watch anytime, anywhere.
NCLH.
Try one month free.
Coming up at 8, comments from Feds Bostic. At 9:15, Feds Logan will be speaking. At 10 a.m., wholesale inventories for
TSLA,
August.
TSLA,
At 10:30, crude and
TSLA,
gasoline inventories.
TSLA,
Also,
HEAL.
Feds Goolsby and Feds Barkin will be speaking. Feds Logan at
AMZN.
10:45. Feds Williams at 11 a.m. Eastern
AMZN.
Time. Feds Barkin at 12:15. Feds
AMZN.
Jefferson at 12:30. At 1 p.m., the
AMZN.
10-year note auction. At 2 p.m., the FOMC meeting minutes. Feds Collins at 5 p.m. and Feds Daily at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
TSLL, CUK, CCL, INHD, TSLA, AMZN, 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 GTLB, GTLB, CUK, GTLB, AMDL, TSLA, HEAL, AFRM, CCL, HEAL, CCL, AFRM, NCLH, GTLB, GTLB, TSLA, DPRO, TSLT,
The
$5 meal deal at McDonald's means you get to pick between a McDouble or a McChicken. Then get a small fry, a small drink, and a 4.
CNF. ALAB, CTRE. ALAB. 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 BMEA. ALAB. 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 AMDL. AMDL. Rhyme, rhyme. Rhyme, rhyme. ALAB. ALAB. STLA. ALAB. Sophie.
Imagine Warlock, Hell Knight, and Archdemon in one stack. And I beat them using only 2 heroes.
GTLB.
WKSP and RIVN exclusive to Benzinger. Worksport tells Benzinger company announcing two new
WKSP.
cover models for the Rivian R1T. Says including an innovative solar Tonio cover. Worksport tells Benzinger company near completion of product engineering for Rivian
Rhyme.
R1T accessories, targeting growing market of premium
Rhyme.
electric pickup trucks. That's Whiskey Kilo Sandy pop-up.
BFRG.
BIIB Biogen receiving FDA breakthrough therapy designation for felzartamab to treat antibody-mediated rejection in kidney transplant recipients. That's Bravo India, India Bravo, BIIB. OGEN or Genix update shareholders on concussion drug progress in phase 2 trial preparation. That's Oscar Golf Echo November.
AAL.
NISN, Nissan pre-announces $192.5 million in record revenue for H1 2024, showing 52% year-over-year growth. That's November India, Seni November, NISN. CGC, Canopy Growth confirms Canopy USA's acquisition of WANA. That's Charlie Golf Charlie, CGC.
Rhyme.
PRLD,
Rhyme.
Pergola Therapeutics, announcing publication of abstracts for presentation at AACR conference. That's Papa Romeo Lima Delta. BWMN,
TSM.
Bowman contracted to provide support services for
Rhyme.
Virginia Department of
Rhyme.
Transportation, design build projects.
TSM.
That's Bravo Whiskey
TSM.
Mike in November.
CCL. Rhyme. CRDL. GTLB. Rhyme. ALB. CRDL. CUK. ALB. Rhyme. 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 GTLB. LASE. 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 Duo. Rhyme. 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 ALAB. RVSN.
Rail Vision, ticker RVSN, announces a $20 million standby equity purchase agreement. Shares getting a pop, ticker RVSN.
ALAB. 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 STLA. TLRY. ALAB. rhyme, 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 rhyme. ALAB. ALAB.
Reuters, citing Chinese state media, reports that China has recently engaged in communications with the US and EU on trade issues related to EVs.
XRTX. ALAB. 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 ALAB.
Benzinger market update. S&P futures down 3.50. The Dow futures down 21. NASDAQ down 29.75. Crude is down 35 cents at $73.22. Natural gas down 4 cents at $2.69. Gold is up 50 cents at $26.36. Bitcoin futures down 65 at 62,335. Coming up at 8 a.m.
AAPL.
Comments from Fed's
AAPL.
Bostic at 9:15. Fed's Logan. Wholesale inventories at 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
AAPL.
Crude and gasoline inventories at 10:30. Fed's Goolsby and Barkin at 10:30. Fed's Logan at 10:45. Fed's Williams at 11. Fed's Barkin at 12:15. Fed's Jefferson at 12:30. At 1 p.m. the 10-year note auction. At 2 p.m. the FOMC meeting minutes. Fed's Collins at 5 p.m. and Fed's Daily at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
With the $5 meal deal at McDonald's, you pick a McDouble or a McChicken, then get a small fry, a small drink, and a 4-piece McNuggets. That's
This
a
guy
lot of
teaches
McDonald's
people how
for
to make
not
their first
a lot
investment
of
in
money.
real estate without risking any of their own money. His name is Pace Morby, and he's one of the top real estate investors in the U.S. He's so good.
A substantial cash reserve amount, which it typically invests in short-term bonds, commercial paper, and other interest-bearing securities. As interest rates rise, the returns on these increase, providing them with additional income outside core operation. They have passive income from interest, which when interest rates are higher, the company's passive income from cash reserves increase significantly given their sizable cash holdings, which is over $2 billion. Even a small increase could generate millions in additional income for them. I'm looking for percentages, though. Let me see. Now, so Palantir also makes money from operations regarding government contracts. Agencies use their platform for data analysis, intelligence, and operational decision-making. Commercial contracts as well are there.
SYRA, Cyber Health awarded new healthcare workforce contracts across multiple
What is an
states.
approximate
That's Sandy Yankee Romeo Alpha,
average
SYRA.
percentage Palantir makes from interest rates versus operations? Let's see if they'll give me that. All right, so we're looking at 2023 data. Okay, so yeah, so on average, interest income contributes about 4 to 7% of Palantir's revenue, depending on cash reserves and interest rate environment. Like in times of higher interest rate environment, obviously this percentage might increase, but in general, they make about 4 to 7% of their income from interest rates from their cash reserves. The rest, the other 90, 95 roughly percent comes from operational stuff, from government contracts and commercial contracts. And so they make most of their money from business, but they do make some from interest rates, and they do benefit from high interest rates as well. Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, people underestimate the use. What I just showed you shows you the power of AI technology, right? Like, I was just able to delve super, super deep into Palantir's business to see what the actual outcome of everything was, and very quickly I could just ask it one question. It'll dive into that for me. Think about how much time that saves me. Think about how much time it would take me to figure this out without that.
AMC.
Right? Like, it's gonna 10x my time savings, and so that's why AI is useful. That's why it's not a gimmick. That's why it's not just a buzzword people are using. That's why the use case argument is there. Anyways, Tesla pulling back a little bit. Yeah, this is just the early AI examples too. It'll get better and better and better. Well, yeah, everybody uses AI now. If you search for anything, that's what you get is AI, But yeah, so going back to the talk about, like, I had the journalist reach out to me, and I told him the truth, man. I told him the truth, which is that super predatory. Most day traders lose. Everybody acts like they're a rich expert guru, and they're all full of
CCL.
crap, and nobody actually listens, you know. Yeah, so Tampa braces for big hurricane stuff.
CUK.
Hmm. All right, so again, Mexico inflation came out, core inflation came in at 0.28% for September. 12-month inflation came in at 4.58%. Yes.
Coil.
Dude, we got this big pullback
WRCHs.
here. I almost want to buy this.
TSIHS.
Let me pull up top step
Oh,
X.
swag.
BYRN, Burna, with their results. Lados awarded $249 million Army Force Protection contract. That's Lima Delta Oscar Sandy.
CHWY. Wind. JD. Wind. BA. WBA. XPEV. XPEV.
OTRK, On Track Health, collaborates with major Northeast regional plan to bridge HEDIS care gaps using On Track quality solution.
BUZI.
That's Oscar Tango Romeo Kilo, OTRK.
MFI.
Johnson & Johnson are going to update their guidance on October 14th.
J&J, Johnson & Johnson, completes acquisition of
INTC.
V-Wave to update full year 2020 financial outlook on October 15th. That's Juliet, November, Juliet.
Legacy chip stock, Intel or AMD? Well, Intel's down so much, maybe.
REALT.
Powell doesn't speak to...
URGN, Eurogen.
We have the Fed minutes report today, so it's kind of like a... It's hard to explain.
Eurogen Pharma announcing their CFO is leaving.
It's a recap
Uniform
of the
Romeo
last
Golf,
Fed meeting,
November.
why they made the decision they did. Like, give us some maybe foresight into what they'll do the next meeting, stuff like that, right? Like, that's what this is.
NISN.
So we got
Wind.
into a nice little trade here, actually.
NISN. NISN. Wind.
Yeah, we just made about 25 bucks on a nice little trade here. On we caught this bounce. We bought this back level here on the bottom. Small little steady gains.
Wind.
Yeah, you hit
Wind.
that like button. I appreciate it.
Wind.
Yeah, everything
Wind.
is overextended, bro. I'm waiting until the correction. It's wild how the market has rallied
Wind.
for so long. I mean, Milo, so
Wind.
why do you think the market is... I mean, again, I'm not saying you're wrong, right? Like, this is what I'm not saying you're wrong.
NISN. NISN.
What I'm saying is, like, are we really looking at the market, right? Like, this is how the market
NISN.
behaves. You know, like, you gotta
NISI.
look at it like this, right? Like, look at the period between 08
PYPL.
right? Like, look at how long the market can rally. You know, this is 11. So like people have this misconception that if the market
NISN.
has a green year, that somehow it's extended on the upside, or if the market has like a green couple month period, even a big green period like we're seeing now, that the market is somehow extended, like wildly extended
Wind.
on the upside, and that's not necessarily true, you know. So like, look, here's from 2009 to
BUZI.
2020, you know.
Serve.
Long as
VUZI.
this is like, we had a 20+% drop in 2022. We dropped all the way down here in 2022, and we're kind of rebounding from that. Like, we only broke those previous high levels right there, you know. So like only this much has gone up from the previous highs. So I guess my point is, it's not like we are just at some crazy extended
Serve.
level. Like, people have to understand, like, you hear these percentages that, like, oh, we're up 21% this year. Last year we did 24%. And those are true. But you also have to 10% a year. It's not every year. This, well, like, let me see percentage wise. Let me see how much this was.
Wind.
Right? So this is on the SPY specific.
Wind. Wind.
It went down, or it went all the way down from 480 basically, all the way down to
WINT, Windtree Therapeutics, spiking to the highs, $1.20.
Right?
EVAX.
So
Whiskey
the
India
market
November
dropped
Tango.
30% right here, 30% decrease, right?
Windtree
and so
announced,
we rebounded big, right? We ended up bouncing back big, but we dropped 30%.
XXII Phase 2B trial
30%
study, trial design. That's
And so yes,
Whiskey
when we
India
bounce
November
back
Tango.
24% free, you know, it sounds great, but we're still under the level that we're still under the highs that we broke prior to that, right? So we basically, even though we bounced back 24%, we still didn't get back over the previous hump that we made, if that makes sense, right? So we dropped 30%, bounced back 24% in 2023. We're still underperforming in the last few years if you look at that high level. And so, here, let me make. Okay, good. And so, yes, we did eventually break highs, but you have to take everything into context. And like, we're doing okay. We're definitely moving up, but acting like we are just at some like wildly extended level that we can never hold, and that, you know what I mean, it's just not true. You got to understand the context of the last few years. Really.
EVAX, a vaccine,
NVAX.
says data from 3 separate clinical trials document strong ability of AI immunology platform to select clinically relevant vaccine targets. That's the Echo Victor Alpha X-ray.
Wind.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can you guys hear? Yeah, I mean, Thomas, no offense, but you just seem to be pretty emotional. Like, anytime anybody says anything on the upside, brother, and that's okay. Like, listen, maybe you're right. But, you know, starting to judge me just because I'm American or whatever, just because I understand what the market is, which is that the market's going to go up over time. Right, like, you can get wrapped up in media and all this stuff and think that the market just has to go down, but you're trading against the biggest edge the market ever gives you, right? And so again, y'all can try to pick tops, that's fine, and maybe the market does correct, right? Like, it could correct, it could start dropping, but in the end, regardless of that, it's still going to go up and do about 10% a year on average, right? Not every year, but, you know, the biggest losers in the market are people who short the market long term. And so I'm just trying not to be in that, regardless of what happens. Yeah. You know, again, he's somebody who gets really upset about bullish action, you know. Time has proven him wrong a bunch, and so he's just kind of in his head about it. That's okay. You know, it's all right. Palantir at 41.70, so Palantir trying to move up. Again, Palantir, honestly, they're making money on higher interest rates. And so that's one of the reasons they're pushing up. Solo told me that earlier, and that makes sense. You know, but what a crazy gain. In 2023, Palantir was at $5.84. $5.84. but the market is broken the highs,
NISN.
bro. I'm not saying it can't hold, but most companies
NISN.
are overvalued. If you look at revenues, it doesn't
CCL.
make sense to buy anything at the moment. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you might be right. I'm not even saying you're wrong, right? But breaking highs is not a sign of extension.
STKL.
You know, it's just not. What I will say, though, is I think AI stocks specifically have led the market up a lot. I think if you look at PE
STLA.
ratios, is probably what you want to look at. The price
CCL.
to earnings, they are a little bit
CCL.
high right now. And so there's a reason I'm not really buying up anything at the moment either. But I'm also not going to get upset if we keep pushing up. You know, and I think there's been periods of time in history where we've been much more extended than we
CCL.
are now. I think the
CUK.
biggest risks for markets is AI corrections, right? I think like an example of
NCLH.
this is if we have earnings season come out this month, as an example, and the earnings season shows AI companies underperform
NCLH.
revenue and EPS wise, right? If we start to get massive corrections on AI stocks, that could in turn drag everything else down with it. And that's a possibility. You know, you just got to watch the data, and we'll cover all of it right here. So if you want to know if that's going to happen, just watch this stream, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. But, you know, again, I guess the point I'm trying to make is it doesn't have to happen. And maybe it does, but it also doesn't necessarily have to either. And I think you want to get past this emotional point where you think something has to happen or something can't happen, right? Neither of those things are true. The more definitive people are, the less I trust them. You know, because anybody with experience is going to take emotion out of it, regardless of what they want to happen with confirmation bias, and they're going to look at probabilities. And nothing's 100% probability-wise, you know. So
LPSN.
Oh, AI is definitely the reason it's up for sure, you know.
NVAX.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to just look at history. Again, I've said this one saying, and this is something that I hope people hear me on. Shorting blue chip stocks or index funds, the longer you hold it, the less likely you are to make money, right? Buying blue chip stocks and index funds, the longer you hold it, the more likely you are to make money. And so which side do you want to be on in that situation, right? Regardless of whether we crash, regardless of whether we correct, the biggest sucker bets in the market are people who get wrapped up in politics or emotion and start trying to pick the tops of some of these blue chip companies, and they short them, and then they keep going up and up and up and up. And the more they short, the more emotional they get about it. The more they get mad at anybody trying to say, hey, the market doesn't have to go down. And so you just don't want to fall into that trap where you start shorting the healthiest companies in the world and then getting mad when they push up higher and higher, because they're inevitably going to push up higher and higher. At least a large majority of them will. Time influences a lot of things. If you get in at the wrong time, they might go down, right? And I'm not saying you can't make money shorting blue chips, just that
STLA.
A lot of people bag hold blue chip shorts and then get mad when they don't make money, and they call it manipulation, and they call it all this other stuff, when really they're just taking a really bad trade. And so you just don't want to fall in that trap, you know. Like, The Big Short's a great movie. That was a different circumstance than what we're in today. You know, and again, I'm not saying we don't crash, but trying to profit from a crash in that way on the downside, unless you're buying up the extended stocks that are down, is a really risky thing. You know, really risky thing.
ATYR.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that we are going to go up or down today, guys? What do you guys think? Do y'all think the S&P 500 is extended? I guess that's a good question to ask. Oh, I love those two movies. Those are some of my favorite movies. Big Short, Moneyball. Both great movies, right? Big Short's I like Big Short probably a little bit more. I love baseball too, but
NEOV. Beam. GTLB.
honestly, sometimes shorting is a reaction coming from jealousy, envy,
VKTX.
especially if you miss the whole mania move. 100%, exactly right. Like a lot of people miss the big move because they, again, like I
NISN.
feel like a broken record about this sometimes, but it's really important for people to take this type of bias out of investing, right? Like people get wrapped up in political news and media on both sides, right? And they use that bias to like get so fearful of the market
GTLB.
that they do not invest. They don't invest their money, right? When they should. And I'm not telling you to invest.
Duo.
I have no freaking idea what the market's going to do. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Don't copy me. Again, I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. I'm not even claiming to be a good trader. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Top 3 disclaimers in the world right now. But regardless,
NISN.
people miss out on the moves.
AAPL.
If you don't invest long term, you are losing money through
Uber.
inflation. You know, we do this formula a lot. You know, we
AMCN,
talked about how good this
NISN,
compounding formula
NISN.
is just for everyday
NISN.
Joes to understand. You know, compounding, you can use it on both up and down.
GTLB.
The compounding negative effects of inflation are significant.
CCL,
You know, let's say you got
NISN.
30K cash, right? Not a huge sum of money, but just to watch how it gets affected by inflation long term.
NISN.
Right? Let's say you lose 3% to inflation
NILA.
every year, right? Over a 15, 20-year period, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. In 15 years, you're losing almost half of this money, right? You're losing almost half of that 30K. And so if you don't stick it in the market, if you don't buy real estate with it, if you don't buy something with it, in 20 years, you're losing 50% of that money in terms of buying power. What I mean by that is that in 20 years, $30,000 is going to be about this much buying power, is what this formula shows you. And so if you don't invest money, you're missing out, right? Like that's the key. And you can invest in a lot of different ways. You know, you can get a mortgage and hedge against inflation. You know, my wife's a big believer in gold. She's like, hey, buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. And I'm a big believer in gold too, but I just don't think that right now is the time to buy gold. Gold. And all
PPSI, Pioneer Power Solutions, sees full year revenue of $52 to $54 million.
That's why you're investing money. But
reiterates their full year guidance. Papa,
you got to look at
Sandy, India, PPSI.
Gold. The last big pullback was really 2011, 2010. That was when we got the last major pullback in gold. So gold's basically been running for 15 years straight now. And so in that regard, it's just not the time to invest in gold. I would rather buy it on a big pullback scenario like this, you know, or even like this, or like this, than buy it at the mania highs up here regarding gold, you know. Like, again, gold, good long-term, short-term, volatile, downtrends for years. The way to hedge against that type of thing, but it's still important for people to understand. You got to invest in something. You could get a mortgage, right? And then say you're paying $2,000 a month in a mortgage. Do the same formula. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And your mortgage is a $2,000 mortgage is going to be about this much in buying power in 20 years. And so it's going to be less significant over your, hopefully over your bankroll, as long as you can hedge against it in a lot of ways. But 8:30. The big stuff drops, tomorrow, 8:30. We had mortgage rates come out, and again, mortgage rates. Look at the bottom. They came out at 6.36% today. 6.36, higher than 6.1. We got Fed Logan speaking today. So we got Logan speaking. I think he does like the opening statements for something. Bears who get mad market isn't crashing likely are one of two of biases. They hate the current. Yep, 100%. Yeah, I think there's a couple different biases, right? One of them is definitely number one there, William.
Zeta.
And that's probably the most common, which is like they're just wrapped up in politics. They're watching news. The news is like it's
IOVA.
the worst it could ever be, you know, and all that stuff. And so that bias just kind of runs with it. And again, I'm not here to pick sides. I'm pretty neutral. I'm very moderate in all that stuff.
Zeta.
I don't know if they're trying to get rich. I think most likely they just fear the market too much to where they don't invest, they don't capitalize, and then they miss out on it. And then because they miss out on it, like confirmation bias wants to tell them that they didn't miss out on anything. And so because the market's going to crash anyway, and so they really didn't make a mistake. You know, a lot of egos float around in markets. And I think a lot of those truths are hard for them to look at. But sometimes bears are right. You know, I don't want it to seem like bears are always wrong. Sometimes being bearish and cautious is necessary. You know, my main difference is like I just don't think picking tops and shorting tops in the healthiest companies in the world is smart. I would rather just not buy in those
MSS.
moments versus
Zeta.
shorting, and shorting is just risky. You know.
Goss.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you stay long enough, you're eventually going to make money investing in blue chips, most likely at least. Why do they call it being bearish? It's bull versus bear. Bulls are well known for, like you see Wall Street, you got the bull. You got like the bull versus bear thing, you know. Bulls specifically
CUK.
meaning, traders that want the market to go up and that think the market's going to go up. Bears meaning traders, investors that think the market's going down or want the market to go down. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that too. The bullhorn points up, bear paws point down. So if you look at the claw, it's going down. If you look at the horns, it's going up.
CUK. CCL. CUK. CCL. CCL. AMTX. Shop.
Yeah, gold's still at 2630s. Nvidia at 134.30s. 416s.
AMD.
Alright, Palantir at 4150s.
AMD.
Yeah, so we got some other stories today. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, so the U.S. stock market could face a 10% correction. U.S. Federal Reserve recent interest rate cuts are focal point. Stocks have had a remarkable year. Analysts are concerned that tech stocks that perform in the months following the rate cut, especially with the election stuff going down and like the volatility that we get from it. Looking at our cut expectations, as we talked about yesterday, this move. So this is a pause in rates. Right, so that's a pause. This is a 25 cut.
SRRK.
So 86.7% chance of a.
For the ones ensuring the job
another rate
always
cut,
gets
right?
done,
If we cut back,
and the
you
ones
see,
wearing many
this
hats,
is all gonna be
Grainger
relative
offers
to
professional-grade
payroll numbers,
industrial supplies and real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is going to be all relative to that. If payroll numbers continue to show really, really strong amounts, if inflation goes up at all, then this rate might increase.
IONQ.
Right? If inflation goes down and payroll numbers come in lower, then this rate will decrease and this one will increase, right? And so it's all relative to economic reports. And again, as we always do, we're going to cover them live here like we do. In theory,
AREC, American
CCL.
Resources Re-Element Technologies, commences daily production of purified rare
North
earths
North
elements to
CCL.
solve domestic supply chain. That's Alfa Romeo Echo Charlie.
Federal funds rate cut this year. I'm not saying that's what they're going to do, but
CCL.
that's what's possible, I think.
CCL. CUK. West Northwest.
Hold on.
North Northeast. CUK. CCL. FLGC. FLGC. Plug.
HUIZ, Weeze Holdings, company subsidiary Pani InsurTech and Global Care launched health insurance comparison
CCL.
platform in Vietnam. That's Hotel Uniform India Zulu.
North Northeast. AMD. 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 CLH. AMD. NCLH. AMD. NCLH. CUK. XYL. CUK. AMD. AMD. Shop.
Trying to fix the mic, guys. My bad. Let me know if this works better. It should be working better now. Hopefully the mic is clear. You know, we basically just reversed it, and hopefully it's clean now. Let me know if it
CCL.
works.
AMD. Northeast.
Yeah, and again, a lot
AMD.
of the rate decisions are going to have to do with a lot of the rate decisions are going to have to do with
CCL.
payroll data, inflation data, unemployment data, right? So far, so good. Good, man. All right, cool. Good. All right, cool. Yeah.
DMAC, Diametica
470s,
Therapeutics,
or
announcing
430s.
regulatory approval to begin phase 2 trial of DM199 in treatment of preeclampsia. That's Delta Michael Alpha Charlie, DMAC.
AMD.
All right, so here's 8:30 here. Again, chat, we don't really have much going on today
AMD.
at 8:30. We got the Fed minutes report later. We do have some Fed members speaking, specifically
SQ.
Logan is speaking at 9:15.
AMD.
Not really a huge report. We had some
AMD.
inflation data
SQ.
from Mexico come out. We had the NBA 30-year mortgage rate drop.
DMAC.
Palantir has still been surging up. There's gold. We got Microsoft. The SPY is getting kind of close to
DMAC.
lifetime highs, though. So again, here's the SPY. It's getting up there to lifetime highs.
SQ.
Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep funded account
SQ.
program and futures. If you want to day trade, this should be your first step.
DMAC.
All right, it really should. There's no PDT in futures. They give you a demo in these funded account programs. They test your skill with it. If you pass the test, they fund
CRMD.
you. If you fail, you only lose the monthly subscription, which is the base one is $49. And so for new traders,
Sophie.
this is the first step in my opinion. They're a
SQ.
sponsor of mine. They pay me
Sophie.
money. I'm biased.
STKL.
But this is the first step. Right? Why? Because if you put up your own money, I get it. You might think you're going to be some prodigy. You're instead just going to lose thousands of dollars, most likely. It makes absolutely no sense to risk significant amounts of money as a brand new trader, or even if you're a good trader. Test the futures market yourself first using this. If you pass the test, then you know you might be good, funding yourself, and you can maybe get
Morningstar
funded,
DBRS
build up
sees
some
initial
profit,
insured
withdraw, and
losses
fund it
between
yourself. But
$60
if you
billion
fail,
to
you only lose
$100 billion
$49.
if
Again, it's a funded
Milton
program.
Mix
They give you a
direct
demo, test your
landfall
skill.
in
If you pass
Tampa.
it, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose the monthly subscription. In the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, gold, the Russell, the Dow,
IOMQ.
some
WW.
currencies as well. So a lot of traders should be
WW.
day trading futures over stocks because there's no PDT restrictions. These funded account programs are allowed. And the big edge is TopStep X has no commissions, right? That's a powerful edge. No commissions, tiny amount of fees per trade. And so you can literally get involved, make $2, $4, $11, $6, $4.50, actually profit after commissions. And so it's the biggest edge in funding right now. They have some of the best rules in the game in funding. You can add to losing trades. Once you're funded, you can scale down and trade micro contracts. And it's just a great way to learn how to trade. It's the biggest edge in funding. And so if you want to check it out, here's the link. I'll put the link up. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. Check it out. Again, they are a sponsor / affiliate of mine. They pay me money. I'm biased. No big reports at 8:30 today. So yeah, we don't really have any big reports at 8:30. Nothing major, at least.
Duo. Duo.
Sober.
Duo.
SOB.
The big reports today are at 2 p.m. for the Fed minutes.
KOPN, Copen Secures
MNTS.
contract to develop night heads-up
MNTS.
display module for warfighters with night vision goggles.
MNTS.
That's
MNTS.
I will
Pop
be
in
attacking
November.
choppiness today. At least I'm gonna try to,
MNTS.
unless we get some big momentum. The reason I'm going to attack
CLIR,
choppiness is-
clear sign announcing burner order for power generation. Customer in Missouri. That's Charlie
NCLH.
Lima India Romeo.
Duo.
HYLN, Hyliion signs letter of intent with ANA to deploy Carnot generators in the mobile power generation market. That's Hotel Yankee Lima November.
NCLH.
NAOV, Nanovibronics, partnering with Specialist Urology Company to expand sales of Euroshield in Germany. That is November Alpha Oscar Victor.
BNZI. BNZI. Duo.
BNZI,
BNZI.
Banzai announcing strategic
BNZI.
business initiatives to improve
BNZI.
net income by up to
BKTX.
$13.5 million annually. That's Bravo, November Zulu, India. MNTS, Momenta selected by NASA to provide launch services for future agency missions. That's Michael November Tango Sandy. MNTS. SVRE, Saver One, announcing distribution agreement in Spain and Portugal. That's Sandy Victor Romeo Echo.
VKTX. BNZI.
ALTS, ALT 5 Sigma reports record month at over $240 million in transaction volume. That's Alpha Lima Tango Sandy.
BNZI. VKTX. BNZI. 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 VKTX. BNZI. VKTX. BNZI. AMDL. BNZI. 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 BNZI.
What's up, everyone? All right, so we're gonna go over the trades from today.
BNZI.
Pretty choppy. Ended up having a really good pre-market session, and then gave back pretty much all the profit I made at the open. OTRK was both the biggest percentage gainer today and my biggest loser, which is such a bummer. Usually when we have a big percentage gainer, that's like the one stock I'm going to do pretty well on. But this one was so choppy. And look at that jackknife candle that we just had. It starts to pull away right here, and then it just slams back down. So you know what? Today and this week so far, it's been not easy, right? You saw my recap yesterday. Yesterday wasn't a good day. Today, not better. I mean, and the thing that's disappointing is that I actually had a really good start to the day, and then I threw it away. And I'm feeling a little bit annoyed about that. But all right, well, let's look at the first stock I traded today, which was AMBO. So AMBO, this one, this was a stock that made a big move yesterday, and we got this big squeeze here from 2 up to 3, 350 to 4, 450, all the way up to 6. Sort of pulls back up, and then at 4 a.m., boom.
Don't trade alone. Trade with me live using one simple strategy, and
boom, it drops back down. But there wasn't any specific news that caused that drop. So all of a sudden, about 7:15, it starts to pull away right here. And as it broke over the volume weighted average price, it hit my scanner because it was popping up. I pulled it up and I was like, all right, AMBO, yep. And you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about LASE yesterday. LASC was the unusual kind of gap down reversal setup where it sold off and then bounced back up. Usually I don't like taking that setup, but I did take a trade yesterday on LASC, and actually it's moving a little bit higher now. And so on AMBO, I thought, it's kind of a similar setup, and maybe I should give it a stab. So on the 10-second chart, I can show you my entry. I got in at about 4:15. So let's see, that was, it was right here that I got in, right here. So it sort of pushes higher, pulls back, pushes higher, pulls back. I got in right there at about 4:15. It goes up to 4:30, 4:40. Then it goes up to 4:50, 4:60, 4:70, up to 4:80, up to 5. Hits a high of 5:10. I was like, amazing. Locked up $2,800 on that. So then it pulls back and it just sort of slowly comes back down. So first trade of the day, $2,800. Awesome. That's better than I did all of yesterday, and I did it in, 10 minutes. So that was a really good start to the day. After that, my next trade was on BPTH. Now, BPTH is a stock I've traded in the past, and I don't really at this point have high expectations for it because it's so choppy. But this morning it did pop up to $1.18. It pulled back, then it squeezed up to $1.40, pulled back, went up to $1.50. The one trade that I took on it was at $1.30, and it was actually right. It was right here. I got in right here. It bounced up and then it came right back down to break even. So I actually lost $39 on it. By the way, this is my P&L.
BNZI, Banzai International share is off the highs now
$153.17
at $5.75. Bravo November Zulu India.
So at the open, I lost 4,000 on OTRK and another 800 on WCT, which was kind of discouraging, if I'm going to be honest. That's not a great way to finish the day. I'm finishing on a loser. And at this point, I've given back too much. I got to walk away. So anyway, so first trade of the day, AMBO. Second trade, BPTH, lost $39. All right, so, a couple trades in. Then SOBR comes up. Now, SOBR I'm up $800 on. And when SOBR started to curl pre-market right here, I thought this looked just like AMBO. So I took that trade, but this one did have news. The news was of an $8.2 million private placement priced at $4. So I was a little unsure, but at the same time, it was also, it was holding up relatively well. So I was like, you know what? I'll take a stab at it. Let's see what it does. So I got a small trade on that for $800. With that, I was up about $3,600 on the day. And then we had IBG. IBG was really interesting because this thing squeezed pre-market on some pretty nice volume. I missed the first leg of the move. So it goes up here to 240, pulls back, goes up here, pulls back. And I got in right around here at 275 and added it 285 and 295 for the breakthrough 3. Boom, we got $3, took my profit off, dips back down, bought the dip off of VWAP, pops back up just a little bit, and then it went a little bit lower. So, locked up $2,000 on that, just like that. I'm up $5,600 on the day. VMAR, this one hits the scanners. Got a couple trades on that for, a couple $100, nothing huge, but that popped up pre-market. And then again at the open, I trade both of those pops, but only made $370. And then at the open, OTRK squeezes up. We've got this big rally on this one. And, I missed it. I missed this whole move up right here. And then I tried to buy the dip off of 5 as it came back down, but I got in actually a little early. I got in at like 5:15. It flushes down here. I lose 1,000 or 800 on the first trade. Then it pops back up. It drops back down. It comes back up. I get back in, drops again. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? This is ridiculous. And then I switch over to WCT. I saw this one hitting the scanners right here. I jump in it, pops up, flushes back down, lose 700 on that. And at that point, I was feeling pretty pissed. And I say, you know what? Screw it. I bought 10,000 shares of OTRK and then lost another 20 cents. And I was like, you're an idiot. Walk away. So I got a little bit of a spiral today. I got a little hijack. Over to WCT.
SQ.
I saw this one hitting the scanners right here. I jump in it, pops up, flushes
MNTS,
back down.
Share is back near the highs
700
again.
on that. And at that point, I was
Mike and November Tango Sandy after that.
Feeling pretty pissed. And I say, you know what? Screw it. I bought 10,000 shares of OTRK
mentioning the
and then lost another 20 cents. And I was like, you're an idiot.
Collaboration
Walk
with
away.
NASA.
So I got a little
That's Mike and November Tango
today.
Sandy.
I got a little hijacked and I got to walk away now before I totally ruin my day. I mean, it's bad enough that I went from up 6,000 to up only 1,000, but if I do 2 more trades like that, I'm going to be at max loss, and it can happen really quickly. So essentially today, I had a great day up until right in here. And then this, over the course of 3 trades on OTRK, lost $4,000 and then lost another 700 on WCT. So it was like loser, 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 loser and a small loss on VMAR. So
SQ.
just terrible, really garbage. Frustrated, but you know what? Whatever. It happens. So today, what could I have done differently? What should I have done differently? The thing is, well, I could have sized down, and ironically, I said to myself after I hit the daily goal, I should size down, and I don't know why I didn't. I said I should size down. I've hit my daily goal, and I don't know why I didn't. I guess I don't know. I said it, and then next thing I know, I was trading something else. Today was the best day of the month, and I threw that away. So now I've got a garbage day yesterday, another garbage day today. So 2 terrible days in a row, relatively speaking. I'm being hard on myself, but 2 bad days in a row. And, that hurts the month. I mean, it hurts the week, right? You've only got so many days in the week. And now 2 days in, I've got nothing to show for this week. So am I going to be able to make up for it on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? Doubtful. Thursday and Friday. Friday's the end of the week. So probably not going to get much because it's the end of the week. Tomorrow, there's a chance. Thursday, there's a chance. We'll see. But really, yeah, I'm halfway through the week essentially. If I figure that Friday won't be much, and I've got nothing. So, had some really good trades earlier, and then got frustrated very quickly and gave into that frustration. And I think that's the thing that's so interesting is how quick I was today to get frustrated and then give into that frustration. I think that is something that occurs if you've had multiple kind of tricky days in a row. Yesterday being a tricky day, was I frustrated? Absolutely, right? I was super frustrated yesterday. So then today, as soon as things get difficult, all the emotion from yesterday comes right back, and I'm just like, immediately feeling it. There are days like today where, I'll go from green 5,000 to red 5,000. I've had that happen. And, I on those days, I always think to myself, man, I wish you had just stopped when you were up, even though you're only, quote, only up 1,000. I wish you had just stopped then and walked away.
SONN signed a biotherapeutics
So
enters
kind of like
licensing
yesterday,
agreement
the
with
best thing I
Alchem
can
Labs
do is just shut it down and walk away. If LASE
to
ends
develop
up
and
squeezing up to 7
commercialize
to 8 to
Sun
9 to 10,
Opal for
blah, blah, blah,
diabetic
blah,
peripheral
I'm gonna miss
neuropathy
it.
in
Just
India.
like Sober did yesterday.
Sandy Oscar,
Sober
November,
SOBR had a nice
SONN.
move, missed the whole thing, right? This thing ends up doing this impressive move from whatever it was, 10:30 to 11:30 or 12, missed the entire thing. Could I have redeemed myself on it? In hindsight, yes. But, I also could have done what I did on OTRK, which is, been a little too slow at the beginning, then traded it at the top and then gone red on it. And, then all of a sudden my day yesterday would have been getting worse and worse and worse until I'm, just
shares of Sonnet
giving back
Biotherapeutics
too much.
spiking here $6.01.
Considered,
On
where
that
am I
news,
at today? Well, I got a little bit more profit than I
LQR
had
House
a few
announcing
hours
marketing
ago.
partnership with Big Spoon to drive
So
awareness for
things could be worse. My account is more or less hovering,
non-alcoholic ready to drink
kinda right
product
at
line.
its
That's
all-time
Lima Quebec
highs.
Romeo, LQR.
It's just disappointing to when you think about it through the lens of I had something nice today and I threw it away. That's disappointing. So, this has been a little bit of a tricky market here these last couple days. Definitely testing a lot of traders, me included. And I hope that things get a little bit better. This morning when I first sat down, we really didn't have a lot to work with. AMBO, that wasn't a leading gainer. BPTH, it was a gainer, but a tricky one. SOBR, that wasn't a leader. IBG, I mean, that one was up a bit, but obviously didn't hold well at all. So yeah, it's a good time just to be patient. And if I really wanted to sort of put some restrictions on myself, I could take a bunch of money out of my account, so I actually cannot afford to take big positions. But I don't really like doing that because things can flip on a dime, and next thing you know, it's heating up, and you don't have the buying power to do much with it. So I think I'm just going to accept that yesterday and today are a wash. Not getting making any progress here for the beginning of the week. But maybe I'll have a little bit of if I can have small green days Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever, then at least finish the week with a little bit of progress and live to trade another day. You know, that's just
LASE.
that's what it's about sometimes. Just survive to thrive, and keeping your head above water. Some markets are just not markets where you're going to make a lot of progress. So it's just making sure
LASE.
if you can't make progress,
LASE.
at least you don't do a lot of damage. And yesterday was a day where I couldn't make a lot of progress, but I let myself do a little too much damage. Today's a day where I started to make progress, and then, you know, that was it. Gave it back. And now if I keep trading, I'm probably going to do some damage and, you know, beat up my account a little bit. And I'd really rather not do that. So, all right, $1,000 profit, green day. Be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. Reminder as always, trading is risky. My results aren't typical. So manage your risk, take it slow. I'll see you guys back here first thing tomorrow morning.
I'm your football obsessed best man.
PRFX. LASE. 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 AE. LMBS. LASE. CELZ. LASE. 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 Heal. LASE. LASE.
LASE, Laser Photonics, getting a pop here, $9.24.
LASE.
Up $1.31 now.
Heal. LASE. 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 OSTI. Heal. Heal. OSTI.
Here's a simple trading strategy where you trade the same asset every day at the same time. You can use it to achieve trading.
All right, everyone. Well, here we are, Monday morning, and I am locking up my first red day for the month of October. Today, kind of a slow start from the very beginning. We didn't have anything really good pre-market early coming into 7 a.m. when most retail traders come online. There was nothing that was looking good. CHSN, yes, it did pop up to 17 and then started to fade. So I didn't take any trades on that. Even though it did provide opportunity, actually went as high as about 18, then dropped to 11. I just said, you know what, I'm going to leave it alone because I know it's a pump and dump. And that was the stock I did the episode on Friday about, in case you didn't see it. So Chinese pump and dump, I just said, nope, I'm going to leave it alone because I don't know when it's going to start dumping again. And all of a sudden, you know, could drop $2 a share in an instant. So I just said, leave it alone. So no trades on that one. We had a couple others that were moving. LASE, this was interesting, dropped 75% all the way down to about $1.85 and then bounced all the way back up to $5, which is pretty impressive. And I lost on it. Now, this was kind of a mistake for me because I typically don't do well trading a gap down reversal. And I was even talking about that in my watch list yesterday, how, you know, at a minimum, I should be looking at stocks that are gapping up. But we didn't have much that was moving today. And this was volatile. But here was my problem. I was watching it early on and I kept saying, no, I don't know. And then finally it starts to pull away and I was like, all right, missed one good opportunity, which would have been a winner. And then it set up another sort of pattern, took that and I lost on it. And then that was kind of the very top. So I was like, didn't want to break the ice, finally broke the ice and it was too late. So anyways, let's jump onto the charts and start to break down the trades from today. If you look at the scan, you can see we've got a 300% gainer, but it's a 52 million share float stock, you know, 22 million shares of volume priced at $31 a share. I didn't take any trades on this. It just is too far outside my wheelhouse to take risk. Popped up to about 35 this morning, dropped all the way back down to 20, and then rallies back up to 30. My first trade of the day was on LASE. So I took my first trade on LASE actually at $4, got in at about 406. So that was, let's see, that trade was at 727. So it was right here. That's right. So we had this pop right here. And, you know, this, I'll back it up so we can look at the chart a little bit more. So this was kind of tricky because we had this big sell-off. I was watching it down here to $1.85 and I was like, should I? And I was like, don't do it. You know, it's just, you don't usually make money on these and it's just not worth it. But then after it goes from 2 to 3 up to 4, up to 450 just about, I was like, all right, well, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't write it off so quick, right? So in this area here, it's consolidating and I took my first trade right here on this red candle. So that red candle right there was where I took my trade. I was getting in for the break over 4. Was thinking that if we broke the high of this pivot here, we would go back to the high, which was about 434. So didn't take that trade, took this one here and was looking for that continuation up. Stopped out, but actually with profit. So that first trade, I made $21. And that was my biggest winner of the entire day. That's sad. That's really sad. It's pathetic. But you know, look, some days are hot, some days are cold. Today was cold. So that was LASE. Then goes sideways, and at the open, it rips into a halt up. On resumption, I was looking to do a dip here, but it didn't quite dip enough. So I was like, so I ended up not getting filled on the trade. It goes into a second halt. On the resumption from the second halt, it dips. I got filled, and it halts down, and I lost $1,500. So that was my... those were my 2 trades on LASE, a $20 winner and a $1,500 loser. Not good. Not a good profit to loss ratio today. So that was LASE. Then I had a trade on GSIW. GSIW is my only winner that I'm actually green on today, $17. This one started to squeeze this morning, and I jumped in it on a micro pullback right here. So got in at about 52. This was right in this area here. It pops up to a high of, I guess it was 58 or 60, something like that. But then immediately comes back down, got out, break even. So I had basically 2 break-even trades to start the day. The $20 winner on LASE and the $17 winner on GSIW. And then the trade that put me deeper in the red was YYAI. This one, I got caught on this candle pre-market right here. I jumped in as it started to pull away. It was squeezing up and it pops to 957 and then drops all the way back down to 830. Lost $700 on that candle. So it does end up going higher, but it did not get back in. I just said, nah, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Move on. All right. I had news this morning at 8. Float was pretty low, curling up on the daily. I thought it had a good amount of room to move higher, but anyways, didn't want to cooperate. So lost on that one. And then PEV, this was interesting. PEV goes from $1.10 to $1.40. And right as it broke over $1.30 on the bid at $1.32, right down here, was a 400,000 share buyer right at about $1.32 here. So when I saw that buyer, I was like, hello, that's a huge buy order. I'm going to jump in right here at $1.33 or 34. So I got in right there. I'm then adding for the break through the high, and it goes up to $1.38. But that was it. And then it came back down. And the buyer was still there, so I was like, I'm going to hold. It comes back up again, comes back down. Now the buyer's gone. The order got pulled. So I sold, took the loss of $163. And even though it's only about 10:15 in the morning or 10:20, I'm now kind of at a place where it's like, all right, you know, 3 relatively small losses have added up to minus $2,500. My max loss on the day is $5,000. Is it worth it for me to keep pushing it? And I haven't had any winners today. I haven't had any decent winners today. So my accuracy is basically 0 out of 5. You might as well say I'm 0% today, which is, I mean, I hate having a day where my accuracy is that low, but that is what it is. So is today the day that I should keep pushing and try to make back half this loss? I don't think it is. I think the writing is on the wall that if I take more trades, I'm probably going to have more losers. So it just doesn't feel worth it.
No
I don't see anything right now that looks like it has the potential to predictably squeeze up 20, 30, 40, 50 cents or more. What I am seeing are a lot of light volume stocks with big spreads that carry a lot of risk. ATGL, this one hit the scans as it came up to 8, actually broke over 8 by 6 cents. But look at the spreads of the volume. It's not liquid. You can't trade it. There's nothing there. Right? You get in on the ask, you get out on the bid, you're immediately in the red. SIFY, this one hitting the scans. We're just seeing a ton of stocks like this. And they just don't feel safe. They don't feel tradable.
PGY and LC,
you know, this one hit the scans a couple times. You know, it is moving higher, but this one, it just, I don't know. You know, just looking at the level 2 on it. So 598's the halt level. It's extended. You've got topping tails back here at the high of 69, and the next candle dropped to 515.
For up to $2.8
right there,
million
another topping tail up to a high of 85, back to 60 something on the bid. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think there's enough momentum in the market today. And I suppose there's nothing really triggering that excitement and FOMO because none of these have done anything really exceptional. None of these seem to have fantastic news. So, you know, we're kind of in a little bit of a lull. All right, so if I accept being red 2,500 and just say that's it, I'm walking away, I'm done, this is a manageable loss. This is a loss that I can recover in one good trade, 2 good trades tomorrow. Not that I should go into the day tomorrow trying to recover, you know, all of it in one trade, but I just know realistically this is a small loss for me. But if I keep going, you know, I do a 6,000 share trade, or well, you know, I shouldn't have a 5,000 share trade, let's just say on QSG, and then that drops 20 cents on me. I lose another $1,000 there, and then next thing you know, I'm down 3,500. I do one more trade, then I'm down 4,500. Now I'm at $5,000 max loss, and I don't think it's worth taking an extra $2,500 of risk today to try to make back the 2,500 because I think if I was really honest, my likelihood is that I have a much higher percentage probability of doubling my loss right now than I do of getting back to flat. And that's just getting back to flat, not even getting to green, right? Or getting to the daily goal, which is really not going to happen. There's no way I would hit my daily goal today unless we had a stock that came out of nowhere and took off, which, you know, is not very likely because there's not strong sentiment today in the market. So I think this is one of those days where, as difficult as it is, the right thing to do is just to shut it down and walk away. And perhaps I should have done that at 9 a.m. Because when we came into 9 a.m., right at the top of the hour at 9 a.m., I was up like $38 on the day. I had the $17 winner and then the $21 winner on LASE. And if that's where I'm at 9 a.m., the writing is on the wall. I then took a $700 loss on YYAI, and so I was down, $750 on the day or whatever,
Big spread.
which is not a big deal. But then at the open, took the loss on LASE of 1,500. So then I'm down 2,300, and then I took my final trade on PEV for a $163 loss. At that point, I was like, all right, you know what? 3 losses in a row.
Ever wondered if there's an easier way to build big capital fast for trading? Imagine trading up to $1 million on your own account. With E8 Markets paying so small entry fee is the only requirement. You don't need to take out a loan, borrow money from family or friends, or spend your lifelong saving. You don't have to spend years building a portfolio from scratch, find an investor, or convince them to give you their money. The solution is E8 Markets, the next generation in
XPON, XPON. XPON. NTRB. GGLL. LGVN. FF. EIXL. JBL.
WW. BNZI. Hollow. BNZI. 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 BNZI.
BNZI. PAX Baxter, that says impacted Hurricane Lee.